No. George Eastman House was counseled to identify necessary parties as part of bringing the litigation. And unfortunately, those include folks who own property, which includes the voiture. That's the only reason they were identified in the lawsuit. So there is, that needs to be corrected. The other thing that needs to be corrected is there was a statement made that the George Eastman House did not find any historical significance associated with the voiture clubhouse. That is just incorrect. In fact, that's contradicted by the record. George Eastman House submitted documentation, specifically a letter back on May 8th, that provided photographic evidence that some of the very elements that are to be removed have historic significance. So that's just not a true statement. The other statement that was made was that there was going to be 3 trees lost. There was actually going to be 5 historic trees lost of significance. And the last big statement that I need to correct the record on, at least try to understand where it came from, was a statement about the height of this building somehow being on a similar scale to those in the neighborhood. I don't, again, know what that means, except that I do know that we keep hearing about what appears to be made out of whole cloth, which is a reference to the University Avenue neighborhood. We're talking about a historic district. To the extent that the architect is referring to an apartment building on East Avenue, I think it's one of the apartment buildings that spawned the creation of the historic district. So what's happened is over the last 40 years, just talk about statistics, this, the number of apartment units that will be added here will now double to what's been done over the last 40 years. And over the last 30 years, this large, by any objective standard, building, which is vastly larger than anything around it, will be the largest building built in the last 30 years, with the sole exception of 2 buildings that support not-for-profits in the area that have quite a bit further setback. That's the record. Quickly, just procedurally, I know this has been before you several times, but the problem is that we keep hearing different iterations and different descriptions in terms of what's being done with the one little left tool. Now the word rehabilitate is used. What I don't know, because I've never seen it, and I've heard here for the first time tonight, is what any of the specifics are as it relates to the work that is to be done in the one little left tool. I don't know what the interior work that's going to be done. I heard reference to the 880 project, looking for interior plans. I've never seen an interior plan as to what is to be done with the one little left tool. It's a contributing element. It's on the National Register because it's a contributing element to the historic district. If you look at what we provided you, which is the affidavit of Claudia Cooney, who's an architectural historian, she'll tell you that that doesn't meet standards. It certainly doesn't meet the preservation support standards in terms of what they need to look at. The last thing I'll say is, look at what's missing. If you look at these pictures, what's missing is all of the buildings in the historic district. You're looking at other buildings, you're not looking at the properties, which are 1- and 2-story buildings. Look again at what's missing, and look in the failure to do a comparability analysis is set forth in Claudia's affidavit. That hasn't been done. I haven't seen Mr. Morgan's memo. I'd like to see it, since I've never seen it.
They're taking notes and they will address your concerns.